Raquel Rodriguez has just interfered in Rhea Ripley's and Liv Morgan's match, and she's caused for the ref to call for a disqualification because she got involved in the match. And as Carlito and JD McDonough both would interfere in Balor's match with Priest, it would end up backfiring on the Judgment Day and allow Priest the opening to deliver South of Heaven to pick up the win here on Bad Blood. It's a huge excitement for the fans, but as the next week on Raw, Liv, Raquel, and Dominic are all talking to each other, and Liv says, "Thank you, Raquel. Just like I told Rhea, I may not be stronger than her, but I am smarter than her, and I always have another plan." And Raquel says, "No problem. I'm just happy to help one of my old friends and beat one of my greatest enemies, just like Rhea Ripley, and we're going to continue to dominate her." And Liv says, "Yeah, good thing. What do you think, Dom?" And as Liv looks at Dom doesn't know what to say, but he says, yeah, sure, yeah, you're right. We beat Rhea Ripley, and now the Judgment Day is going to continue to run Monday nights." And Liv says, "You're perfect. Come on, guys, let's go." And as Dom waits, he runs back to the Judgment Day clubhouse, but he's met by a very interesting person. It's Rey Mysterio, and he says, "Dom, don't listen to them. They've just gotten into your head. They're just using you." And Dom says, "I don't want to hear it. You're just a deadbeat. So what would you know about the Judgment Day family?" And Rey will say, "More than you know, Dom. I know when you're just being used because you're my son. So just think about what I'm saying, okay? You don't have to make a decision right now, but just make sure you take notes of your surroundings and listen in closely to when the Judgment Day are saying things." And Dom is speechless. He's actually thinking about what Rey is saying right now. But as the next week on Raw comes, Rey Mysterio and Balor will go one-on-one, and Balor would be destroying Rey Mysterio in the matter of this match. And Rey Mysterio was trying to build some momentum, but Balor had a counter for every little move that Mysterio would try to deliver. But eventually Mysterio would come back and deliver a neck breaker to Balor, but then eventually he would try to deliver a foot stomp, but Rey would counter and deliver a dropkick, staying in control. But eventually it wouldn't last too long, as Balor would deliver that foot stomp and try to pick up the win. But it was not enough to put away the legendary luchador, Rey Mysterio. And things would even get more heated up as JD McDonough appears from the crowd. Fleeing behind him is Carlito, but out of nowhere, they are disposed by Damian Priest, who would take out JD McDonough with that kick and lift him up and deliver a devastating razor's edge hard on the mat. And as McDonough is out, Priest was showboat a little bit, and Carlito is confused, but out of nowhere, he's speared by Jey Uso. Main event Jey Uso coming out to help Rey Mysterio. And as the ref is distracted by all this chaos on the outside, Rey Mysterio has Balor in position for a 619, and he's looking to close out this match, but Dominic slides in with a chair, and he looks at Rey and Balor, and Rey says, "Dom, come on, do the right thing, make the right decision, like I raised you." And Dom is thinking, who's he gonna choose? And Dom makes a bad decision as he nails Rey Mysterio with the chair. Dom is not listening to what Rey is saying. He nails Rey Mysterio with the chairs, and he would get out the ring, staring at Mysterio lifeless. Balor can now take advantage as he goes up to the top, and he would nail a devastating coup de grace to pick up the win. In a major upset for the crowd, Balor picked up this win tonight against Mysterio. And as the next week on Raw, Dominic would eavesdrop just like Ray told him to on Balor and Liv Morgan's conversation, who are talking backstage without their notice. Dominic is listening in, and Liv says, "Finn, it seems like everything's going according to plan. He's starting to lose more and more people, and he's starting to fall victim to us right into our trap." And Finn says, "Yeah, Liv, it's going exactly to plan, just like I set up this whole time." I can't believe he's actually falling for it. It's been set up all along. And Dom is confused because he doesn't know 100% sure what they're talking about. As he runs off, though, he would run once again into Rey Mysterio, who gives him some more words of wisdom. As Rey would say, "Dom, did you see what I was talking about? Did you do what I told you?" And Dom says, "Yeah, I did it." And Rey says, Good. Just do more of that and you'll soon find out the truth. I'm telling you, Dom, you have to trust me. Liv and Finn aren't who they say they are. They're frauds, they're manipulators, they are manipulating you. And you gotta find out the truth sooner or later. But for now, just keep doing what you're doing until you find out the real truth. And what does that mean? We don't know, but as Rhea Ripley gets set to take on Liv Morgan, who is accompanied by Dominic Mysterio, who's still pondering after the words of Rey Mysterio. And as Rhea Ripley would dominate Liv in this match at the beginning and deliver a full-on beatdown, just punching the face of Liv Morgan in and slapping the face, this would have Dominic shaken up on the outside, worried for his Judgment Day sweetheart, Liv Morgan. And as Rhea Ripley would plant her down, she would go for a cover, but it was not enough to put away Liv Morgan. And as eventually Rhea would set up a riptide, Liv Morgan is pulled by Dominic Mysterio, who Rhea Ripley didn't see entering, and Liv would hightail it out of there after she was just saved, leaving Dominic high and dry and victim to a riptide from Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley was fired up after that. Liv Morgan has just left Dominic high and dry. And backstage the next week on Raw, Dominic would confront Liv Morgan about her leaving him out there, and Liv would say, "Dom, come on. You know I didn't mean to do it on purpose. It's just I had to leave before things got terrible, more worse than they had already got. Come on, you have to trust me." And Dom says, "Come on, Liv, I do trust you, but it just wasn't right. All I needed was your help, and you just ditched me like a piece of garbage." And Liv says, "No, Dom, I would never treat you like that. I care about you, and you care about me, so come on, let's just go. Let's stop talking about this." And Dom ponders it for a second, but he eventually agrees and walks off with Liv. And as Dom leaves the area from talking to Liv, he runs into Finn Balor, who says, "I heard you and Liv talking. Liv did not ditch you, Dom. You gotta get your act together, because it's not looking good with your status in the Judgment Day right now from the way you've been acting." And Dom is confused. Dom has not been acting like anything, but reluctantly he agrees. And as later on that night on Monday Night Raw, when Jey Uso will be in a hard-hitting match with JD McDonough of the Judgment Day, Uso will deliver that spine buster and then a snap suplex to plant McDonough. And eventually Uso will try to deliver a super kick, but this one McDonough would come into play and delivering a Spanish fly, turning the tables on Uso and following it up with a standing moonsault. And eventually, as McDonough stays in control, continuing the offense against Jey Uso, and he will pick up Uso and deliver the double knee strike to the face. And McDonough is fired up and ready to put away Jey Uso. And as Jey would crawl into the corner, McDonough would take advantage of this and backing into the corner and nailing Uso with a shotgun drop kick. And he will follow it up as going up top, trying to follow it up with a moonsault, but he would miss as Uso will roll out the way. And as McDonough will struggle back to his feet, he falls victim to a jumping super kick for Jey Uso to pick up the win and retain the Intercontinental Championship. It's a huge, major excitement for the fans to still see Jey Uso yeet as Intercontinental Champion, but it's a huge upset for the Judgment Day and Finn Balor, as Finn Balor's pacing back and forth with Carlito after seeing the match, and he says, we've got to do something. The Judgment Day is falling behind, and we can't let that happen. We got to step up our game. We got to make more dedicated plans to winning. And Carlito says, yeah, you're right. We got to do some more things. We got to destroy some more people, make people realize the Judgment Day is in charge. And Finn says, I know the perfect way to do that. We'll start by getting rid of Rey Mysterio. And as next week, Rey Mysterio is demolished by Carlito and Balor backstage. This is what Balor meant by disposing of Rey Mysterio, getting rid of Mysterio. And Carlito and Balor would toss him out of the arena, and all this commotion would distract Dominic, who's conveniently in a match with Bronson Reed, as Bronson would go up top to nail a tsunami to pick up the win. Bronson Reed has just took advantage of the distraction. Dominic had feelings for his father being attacked, and it seems like the tension is still there. They are still having that father and son bond. But as Adam Pearce would make a statement claiming at Survivor Series, it will be Balor and Rey Mysterio one-on-one. Balor and Liv would confront Dominic to decide where he stands ahead of Survivor Series, and Balor says, where are you with us, Dom, or not? And Liv says, yeah, Dom, are you with us? I would think you are. Don't you want to do it for me? You love me, don't you? And Dom says, of course I do, Liv. Of course I care about you. I care about the entire Judgment Day, but I also care about him. Finn is angered by this, and he says, well, you better get it together and start just focusing only on the Judgment Day, or there will be consequences. And as Liv and Balor walks away, Dom is left there pondered. He doesn't know what is happening. He doesn't know what decision to make. But as we inch closer to Survivor Series War Games, Priest would get in a match with Carlito the week before the go-home show to Survivor Series War Games. And as Priest is dominating Carlito, he would showboat for a second, but then Dominic would arrive from the crowd and he would walk up to the ringside. The Judgment Day is always not far behind in these situations, and so is Liv as she storms out walking, but she's quickly caught off guard by Rhea Bloody Ripley, who nails a big boot to Liv and takes her down, and she would pick her up and nail her with a boot once again. And then Rhea would continue to beat down on the outside to Liv Morgan, Dominic's new girlfriend, and as Rhea would toss Liv to the side, this would eliminate her from the equation, and as Dominic would turn to his side, he would see a very familiar face. Rey Mysterio once again, after Dominic was told to focus on Judgment Day business. And Dominic says, you can't be here right now. I have to focus on the Judgment Day. And as Dominic is saying this, he doesn't realize that Finn Balor's by ringside now, and he sees Dominic. And with all of this taking place, this would allow Priest to capitalize with the South of Heaven to pick up the win ahead of Survivor Series War Games. But as it was time for Survivor Series War Games, there will be a WWE exclusive interview with a fan who would say, I think we're going to have a good match between Rey and Finn, and I'm hoping my boy Rey, the legendary luchador, pick up the win, because I'm all for the LWO. And it was finally time. Survivor Series War Games, Rey Mysterio versus the Prince of the Judgment Day, Finn Balor. And as we would get into this match, Mysterio would deliver a Hurricane Rana. He was fired up already at the start of this match. He would deliver a dropkick to the leg of Balor, and he would stomp on the arm to wear Balor down in the matter of this match. And as Balor would get sent to the outside, Mysterio would deliver a suicide dive DDT, planting Balor, and he was fired up even more. And as Balor would come back, though, to deliver a dropkick to the leg of Mysterio, then deliver stomps and a few ground and pound maneuvers to Rey Mysterio, it would allow him to come back into this match and take over control against the legendary luchador. And he would send him back first into the barricade, and as Mysterio would try to charge at Balor, Balor would trip the legs and deliver that foot stomp. But Mysterio would hop back up once again, still not staying down, but Balor would counter Mysterio once again and take him down, sending him into the post on the outside, and he would pick him up and nail a final cut to drop down Mysterio. And then he would toss him back into the ring, and now Balor would lift him up for the powerbomb position, but Mysterio would send him to the ropes to nail a 619, and it connects. Mysterio's already looking to close out this match as he goes to the top, but of course the Judgment Day would interfere. McDonough and Carlito charging down to the ring to get involved in this match, but they are quickly cut off by Priest, who grabs McDonough by the neck and plants him with a South of Heaven. And then he would turn his attention to Carlito, dropping him with a kick to the back and picking him up as well to lift him up for a razor's edge on the outside. And as the ref is distracted by all this nonsense on the outside of the ring, he doesn't take his attention towards Dominic, who slides into the ring without being noticed by the ref. And he stares at both the Balor and Rey. But what decision is he gonna make? And he chooses to take out Balor. Dominic has just taken out Balor. He's helping his father like he should have been doing the whole time, doing the right thing. And he nails a 619 to Balor. Dominic has just made Balor regret his decisions, and Mysterio will follow it up with a splash to pick up the win. Dominic and Rey are finally reunited at last, the father and son bond that they've always wanted.